Any other thoughts on that?
I have a question.
Yeah. Say that again?
Open spot. What do you think about the open spot that's open right now?
I think we, as the membership, have the opportunity to make it a moot point. We have the opportunity this election, come Saturday, to make all of that a moot point. What's that? Oh, she wanted to know what I felt about the vacant position. And so that's what I'm saying. We have the opportunity to take it out of the hands of the 5 or 6 council members that would be given the opportunity to appoint that position simply by voting for one or more of the 3 remaining candidates, the 3 remaining qualified candidates.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, and so let's make it a moot point, and that will take care of itself. We still have that power. We still have that authority amongst ourselves to decide who we want to be in there. Either the membership will vote for 2 of the remaining candidates, or the membership will be saying, we want the council to choose for us. I'm confident in our membership that they'll want to keep that, they'll want to hold on to that authority, and they'll vote for the remaining candidates. So.
Okay.
Any other comments?
I have a quick question.
Oh, yeah.
Technically, I was wondering, because in most seats, government, and the senators and everything like that, you have to be technically sworn in. And if he was sworn in and then he passed away after that, I could see his seat being vacant.
Yeah.
But with him not being sworn in, how can he still take a seat? Because I've seen on Facebook a few people saying, let's honor our chairman and make him win by landslide. And I totally don't agree with it, because I don't agree with the 6 people picking what we want.
Right.
But I'm just wondering, legally, wouldn't
Yep.
he have to be sworn in to vacate his seat? He can't be sworn in.
You would think so. You would hope that our laws, our codes would, and ultimately, if it were to get to that point, the courts would agree with that. In the last few days, I've been doing some research. I've been doing quite a bit of research on this issue. And to give you an idea, there's 2 rules out there that courts generally use. There's what's called the American rule, and there's what's called the British rule, or English rule. Yeah. The American rule says, we are going to leave the deceased candidate on the ballot, and we will count any votes cast for that person, because what it is saying is the will of the people would rather have that position filled by somebody else than to vote for any of the remaining candidates. And so the American rule looks to the will of the people. And so they say that a vote for a deceased candidate is essentially a vote against the remaining candidates. So that's the American rule. And the majority of the courts in the United States use that. Thus it's called the American rule. The English rule kind of goes along with what you're saying, is the candidate is deceased, therefore they're no longer a qualified candidate, therefore any votes cast for them aren't going to count. The only exception to that is if the voter's intent was to protest the election. They look at voter intent. And so those are the 2 rules that courts use. Now, one thing that a tribal court could and should consider is historical practice, cultural practice when it comes to selecting your leaders. And that's something that I would like to find more out about, historically, how were our leaders chosen? One of the things that I had heard is in the past, the leaders would come up and sit in front of the general membership, the candidates, if you will, and you had to come and cast your lot for the particular leader. And so one argument that possibly could be made from a cultural standpoint is, in order for you to receive someone's lot or receive someone's vote, you have to be able to sit there in front of them. And so, there's possible ways of looking at this, of challenging it. But again, like I said, we have the ability within ourselves still right at this moment to make all of that moot. We don't even have to go down that road. If our membership will vote for one or two of the remaining candidates.
Weren't the absentee ballots sent out before he passed away?
Yeah.
And
they
a
were.
lot of them are signed or done immediately and sent back in.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things in my research also that I found is courts are generally reluctant to delay elections because it disrupts governmental functions and all of that. And so they tend to side on the side of keeping the election as it was scheduled. And one of the things they look at is, how close to the election are we? Is it possible before that election date to redo the absentee ballots, or have the absentee ballots already been sent out? And so that's kind of where we're at, with this particular situation. So that's where we're at, presently. And it's, but like I said, we have the opportunity to make it all moot, not even have to go down that road. So that's what we're encouraging people to do, to get out and vote for, one of the remaining candidates.